So, how do you guys feel about a shameless self-promotion? How do you guys feel about that? Because I may have a little something for you guys. I'm very excited. Um, Trolls and Goblins is finished. It's a song of mine. I'll tell you a little story. The next game you can win some keys for. I'll do that in a little bit. But before I do that, I want to show you guys this. All right, so the song is Trolls and Goblins. I explained the story. It's a song I wrote like 10 years ago, just randomly on a whim. I don't know where the riff came from, but it was like the one song that people kept asking me about and kept bringing up to me. And so I ended up writing lyrics, and I've done it live. I've performed it live to a baffled audience that probably didn't enjoy it very much. And then I showed the stream and I told the story. There's a video. If you go to YouTube and type Vinesauce Trolls and Goblins, you'll get the full story. So I won't bore you with it now. But one of my charity incentives, I only had 2 charity incentives, both very time consuming, both very extensive, but only 2. We did a charity stream this year, and my charity incentives were to bring Tamagotchi back, which I did for 5 episodes. That was cool. And the other one was, if we reached a certain goal, I would record Trolls and Goblins with Mike in the studio, in a professional recording studio. Well, we reached the amount, and I agreed to it. And the crazy thing is, we recorded the drums one day, and then we didn't do anything with it for like months. And then, or maybe like a month and a half. And then I got sick like a month ago, and I couldn't sing a song. So me and Joe just sat there like, well, we got Trolls and Goblins, let's do that. So we just started building and adding and building, and then finally this amazing, weird, bizarre thing just happened. So I will now present to you Trolls and Goblins in its finished form, mostly. If you decide to buy it or download it, I just want to say hold off, because there is 1 or 2 small elements missing. When we mixed it down, there was a very, very brief vocal harmony that happens twice. Very brief, but kind of cool. And also in the beginning, there's a little sound effect that's missing. So there will be a more complete finished version, but this is like 99%. So really, there's not much of a difference. Anyway, without further ado, this is Trolls and Goblins. This is dumb. I'm stupid. Enjoy. Happy Halloween. Shalom.
Past the harvest, lived a troll named Drizzle Drozzle Dum. His obsession with possession led him to an awfully tragic end. One bright morning, after yawning, Drizzle Drozzle stole the goblin's lunch. He was hungry in his tummy, gave the signal for him to have a munch. Tasty snail stew, quite tough to chew. Drizzle ate well, then he went to bed. Dreams of dragons, gnomes, and halflings, elven woodsmen began to fill his head. Soon the goblin, to his chagrin, found his food was taken by the troll. So he set out, there was no doubt, made poor Drizzle, hung him from a pole. Drizzle Drozzle got his fulfill, but his actions led him to his fall. That's his story, and I'm sorry if you can relate to him.
That's the song. It's corny as fuck, but I really like it. It's short, but that's all there is to it. There's no other parts to the song. Oh man, I'm glad you guys like it. I sang it with more of a British accent the first time. I don't know why. I guess it was a Syd Barrett influence, the original Pink Floyd singer, because he wrote some troll songs too. But um, when I first sang it in the studio, I was like, okay, I'm doing this with way too much of a British accent. And then I scaled it back. You can still hear it, but it's just not as much. Um, a few little stories about the this song, little pieces of information is this art was done by Kinlank, Kinlaink. I think I'm saying that right. And he or she submitted this to me by email today, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. I'll tell you a few other little things. There is tuba on there, but it's really low. It's mixed in. It's at the end, and it's halfway through the verse. I might at some point try to get Joe to up that a little bit, maybe like just like 5%, because when we first recorded it, it was a little bit too loud and it kind of stepped on the bass and some of the other instruments, and it just kind of muddied the whole thing up. But we found a good spot for it. There's also tuba during the Goblin solo, and that really makes that big sound. That's what you're hearing, as well as some other stuff. Now, true story, Giromatic, one of my mods, John is his name. He is someone that has helped me with audio in the past. And when I told him about Trolls and Goblins, when I told the stream, he emailed me and said, Vin, if you need me for tuba for Trolls and Goblins, I can lay down some sick tuba. And the crazy thing is, like, I didn't think it was going to happen. He was busy. I was busy. And then we just had like one night where everything just worked. And I was like, dude, what about tomorrow? He's like, all right. And he drove an hour to Staten Island to the studio, and he just laid down tuba. So it's in there. It might at some point, like I said, I wanted this to be the final mix, but since it's not, I might actually say, you might get a little bit more tuba, just a little bit more. What else can I tell you about the song that you might not know? I have two funny little things about the lyrics. The first is, I know how dumb the song is, but that's part of the charm. And I remember when people were like, like people like my friends that heard it, they were like, oh, that's actually kind of catchy riff. I said to myself, I should probably write this. So I'm writing lyrics. I wrote most of it, and I couldn't find a word that rhymed with forest that was cool, that fit the song. So at the time I worked at a deli, and I asked the people behind the counter. Maybe I did tell this story on stream. I don't remember. I asked the people who were buying food. There was like 4 or 5 people. I said, does anyone here know a cool word that rhymes with forest that is similar to the word forest, like something kind of like green or something like that would fit in like a fantasy setting? And immediately this Irish lady with thick Irish accent, she goes, harvest. And I said, thank you. And I went over to my notebook and wrote harvest. So that was cool. And then originally the character's name was Drizzled Drozzle Dem. Dem engineers, if you're here, I'd like to just say that you had a goblin named after you for a very short time. And then when I played the song for someone at school in college, they were like, why is it not Drizzle Drozzle Dumb? I was like, because dem rhymes with the word end. And she was like, no, that's stupid. Just change it to dumb. It'll sound fine. It's a near rhyme. I was like, oh okay. And then I did. So anyway, that's the song, and it's fun. I'm gonna end up making a thread soon about an animated music video for it. I've already had a number of people who were interested, and anyone here who's really fast or good with animation, well, mostly both of those things together. I'm thinking we might do a community collaboration, and there is money involved, so I will pay. But maybe each person gets like 20 seconds of the song, and we just kind of piece the things together, and then we come together on this one cool animation for Trolls and Goblins. Not sure yet, but if anyone here is an animator, maybe listen and come up with some thoughts. And once I formulate some ideas about how we're going to make this happen, I'll make a thread. Check my Twitter, and you will see when that happens. If you want to hear the song again, you can just go to vine.bandcamp.com. That's where it is. So, thank you. I'm done now. And thank you all for... Hang on. Bandcamp.com. That's where it is. Thank you all for donating to PCRF and helping us reach our goal and actually smashing that goal. And we raised over $55,000 for pediatric cancer research. And it was a really good charity stream. And honestly, this song would have never been revisited or recorded had it not been for you guys donating to the charity. So you guys are in essence responsible for this. You should feel ashamed or proud. So that's it. Okay.